Yes, it's MKO Pugilism. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you get notified of all latest content as and when we drop it. So let's get into this one. Yesterday we had Tyson Fury versus Oleksander Usyk, Ring of Fire. We had the press conference. And yeah, just going to talk a little bit about that. First of all, as a big boxing fan, I am ecstatic, over the moon that we finally get the undisputed heavyweight world title fight. You know, I mean, this has been in excess of 20 years in the making. It's a long time in the making. So that in itself, just the fact that we're getting a fight is brilliant. It's fantastic for boxing. It's what we the fans deserve. It's what we the fans have been waiting for years and years and years. More than 2 decades now since Lennox Lewis. I mean, that is going back. We've had the Klitschko era, which was quite dull. We've had this current era where there's been a few unifications. Tyson's had most, Fury's had most of the belts at a point. So has AJ. So now has Usyk, and then he's just missing the WBC. So here we go. Now, the press conference was, in some ways, a lot of it was what we would expect from Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk was more cerebral. He doesn't speak English well at all. He just speaks a few words. I am very feel. He's very stoic. He's very sort of calm, and he doesn't really get rattled much by what his opponents say. He doesn't do much talking. He just looks and, you know, he just sort of pretty much is there, sits there, and he's about the business. There are a few interesting points in this press conference. Firstly, Tyson Fury was very aggressive in his press conference. You know, didn't say that much at first. He done some weird talking towards the end of it about being the sexiest man according to one of these magazines, GQ, and beating Cristiano Ronaldo and all this nonsense. So there was a bit of comedy from Tyson Fury, but for the most part, most of his talking was just aggressive, calling Usyk a rabbit, a middleweight, a this, a that. And the way he talked was almost as if he's got some sort of Tourette syndrome where rabbit, middleweight, your sausage, I'll burst you, I'll do the, you know, it was just, the guy was just like, you know, just coming with these wild, typical Tyson Fury outbursts about a rabbit, a sausage, a dosa, a this, a that, you're getting out, you're knocked out, you're this, you're that, you're that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was some truths in what he said, because he, if I suppose technically you could say, you know, it's Usyk, you picked up the belts that I put down or something, and yeah, I suppose it's not quite as straightforward as that. Usyk did win them off of Anthony Joshua, so it would beat a live champion to get them. But yeah, in a sense, you could say, yeah, he beat Klitschko. He went on his rampage with the drugs and the food and the drink, and you know, obviously lots of mental health issues, stuff like that. So he went into a rampage. But again, he goes out, put them down. But at the same time, look, you done that. You went off into that rampage. You can't. It's no one else's fault. That's what you done. That's where you were in your life. Whatever. Usyk, for his part, didn't seem too rattled by it. There were times where you could see expressions in his face that I would argue that he was kind of at least a little bit irritated by what Tyson Fury was saying. You could see in his face that it was kind of grimacing and, you know, cringing a little bit at some of the things Tyson Fury was saying. And I think he even said through his translator that, you know, my English is not sufficient for me to engage in this talk, so I'm not going to do it. I'm let this guy talk. And you know, he was going to Tyson Fury, more, please, more. And Fury was like, nah, F off, no more. I don't want more. Yeah, it was just one of those where, as Fury said, for the most part, it was kind of like an echo chamber where he's kind of just talking to himself because he's not getting much of a response. There was only, you know, he was pretty much seeming angry and on edge throughout the press conference. I mean, especially when Usyk said, "Oh, the Lord will deliver me into your hands," and then that was the thing where Fury, really got angry. Said, "No, the Lord will never deliver me to you. You're not worthy. The Lord will never deliver." And I think both of these guys, I mean, Fury, I think, is a Roman Catholic, if I'm not mistaken, and Usyk, I think he's a Christian as well. He's a Orthodox Christian, I believe. So yeah, both of these guys, have kind of a Christianish background, and yeah, I think that really offended Tyson Fury, and that was the only point where Usyk sort of verbally got his back up. Usyk, in a sense, you could say, was maybe playing his own mind games, because Dev Sani was stirring the pot, as he does quite well. He's a good little antagonist, asking people provocative questions. Even when he asked in the other press conference the day before, he was asking Deontay Wilder questions, and Deontay Wilder even cottoned onto it. A lot of people say, he's not the deep thinker, but Wilder said, "You so messy, you so messy." So even Wilder clocked that, yeah, Sani's a bit of a troublemaker. But Usyk took a little bit different tact, and he said, when he was asked by Sani, Fury's saying you're a middleweight, you're a sausage, you're this, you're that. What do you think about this? You're just a small man. And he goes, maybe it's true. And even Tyson Fury at that point went a bit quiet, So it was, as a press conference, it wasn't overly exciting, because, as Fury kind of mentioned, it was pretty much one-sided. Nothing deep from Fury. All we know from Fury is that he's amped up and he's fired up. As others have pointed out, I think Hatman pointed out in the video, that Fury in this press conference a lot more fired up. You compare this to the Dillian Whyte press conference, Francis Ngannou press conference, where perhaps he thought those were going to be easy fights. He wasn't so amped up, he wasn't so hyped up, he was very relaxed, very chilled out with those press conferences, and complimentary in some ways of some other opponents. I'd say in the Klitschko press conference, when they fought, he was kind of animated like this, and kind of going a bit crazy, getting in Klitschko's head. And with Usyk, I don't think he's going to be able to get in his head too tough, but I think this is going to be one of those things where he might just be trying, as I think Chris Andre's boxing said, that he could just be trying to get Oleksander Usyk angry, because he knows that he's not going to be able to get into his head and sort of disturb his mental construct. But by insulting and annoying Oleksander Usyk, maybe he can get him angry and get him to fight angry, and that might play into Tyson Fury's hands. So yeah, that's just mainly my thoughts on it. The head-to-head was an interesting one as well, where Tyson Fury was again very provocative, very boisterous, putting his head right into Oleksander Usyk's head and trying to push Usyk back. And Usyk, for his part, he stood his ground, planted his feet, and wouldn't be pushed back. He didn't allow Tyson Fury to push him back, and the two were just sort of having this game of, knocking each other's heads into it, And Usyk wouldn't back down. You could tell Usyk was dead serious about what he was doing. And it looks like it should be a very good fight, very intriguing fight. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it really is a brilliant end to the boxing year thus far, that we've got a good card just before Christmas Eve in Saudi Arabia, where you've got a star-studded lineup. Okay, not all of the fights are great. Some of the fights are just mismatches, but it's great to see all those names in one place, and to see, I think the fact that we are seeing these different promotional outfits working together. You're seeing Matchroom Queensbury, you're seeing, I mean, I suppose if you want to count Dimitri Salita as well, you know, these guys that tend to, especially in the case of Matchroom and Queensbury, they don't exactly get along. They're not the best of friends. It's more, okay, the son of Frank Warren, I think George Warren, him and Eddie Hearn, you know, they communicate. But to see these guys under one banner in, you know, in different press conferences during the week, to get the Undisputed signed over the line, we've got the date, February 17th, you know, to have that in place for next year. It's a brilliant cap off till the end of the year. So let me know what you thought about the Fury versus Usyk press conference. The Ring of Fire Undisputed Heavyweight title being contested, Saudi Arabia, 17th of February. Let me know what you thought about the whole press conference thing in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out. I'll catch you on the next one.